to Mondello Park into pit lane and to rounds 5 and 6 of the Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship. Before we get the action underway today, we'll grab a chat with some of the riders.
Well, you know what? I've seen a step in your stride this weekend, and I think it's because you're getting pushed a bit, and you badly need it, I think.
Definitely, without a doubt. Like, I wanted a challenge. Here it is. Like, after the last round, I had no interest here. The last round, like, I won the 3 races, but let's be honest about it, like, I got no buzz out of it. So. Yeah. I want to come here and be pushed and push.
We've seen Andrew Murphy jump onto a 600 this weekend, and I know you were a fantastic 600 rider. Does it give you the old itch looking back and seeing likes of Andrew doing something like that?
Yeah, a little bit, I suppose. I think that's half my problem, to be honest. I'm trying to ride this thing like a 600 coming out of corners, and just when I try and roll the power on, I'm still cranked over, and it just doesn't work with 200 horsepower. So, yeah, it'd be nice to get a spin on a 600, but sure, Superbikes is where it's at.
So this is the grid then for the Dunlop Masters Superbike, round 5 of the series, race 2 this weekend. Brian McCormack on pole, alongside him Richie Ryan and Luke Johnston on the outside. On the second row of the grid, Peter Maloney, Thomas O'Grady and James Kelly. Derek Wilson, Keelan Ryan, Michael Prendergast, and the leading cup rider is down in 10th. That's Dara Trapp, and alongside him is Jamie O'Keefe. So the red flag leaves the grid and away they go, and Richie Ryan makes a terrific start from the middle of the front row. McCormack looking to go ease his way around the outside, and that's what he does. The pole sitter immediately retakes the lead. Brian McCormack last won a Superbike race back in 2015. 2008 Irish Superbike champion, making a return to the series. And what a return from the man from Tramore. Won the opening race this weekend on the BMW. Very experienced rider, raced at the Northwest 200, the Ottoman TT, and the world's fastest road race, the Ulster Grand Prix. Ryan in second place. Well, you heard him in interview before this event started that he wanted somebody to put it up to him. Well, certainly today he's got a man up in front that will do that. Brian McCormack. We're on the international track today, 3.5 kilometres. This is out of Lola corner, really opens up down towards turn 7A and 7B. 3.5 kilometres as we mentioned, so that's 7A, this is 7B. Ryan goes through, that's Peter Maloney in third place. Luke Johnson has a little look as they head towards Bahrain's Bends. It's a series of right and left sweeping corners as they head back towards the back of the paddocks. Derek Wilson and Thomas O'Grady together. And just ahead of them, that's Peter Maloney and Luke Johnston as McCormack comes up to Southside Motor Factors corner for the first time. 8 laps in this second race of the weekend. There's Peter Maloney in third place. Luke Johnston directly behind him as they come to the end of lap 1. Oh, that's Derek Wilson going very wide down from Southside Motor Factors corner. That won't help him. Battle for third place. Maloney yet to win a race in the series, second to Ryan last season. Johnston second to McCormack in race 1 of 3 this weekend. Round 2 of 6 in the Dunlop Masters series. Maloney and Johnston join together as Johnson goes diving down the inside. Johnson 3 second places in 4 races, with Ryan not scoring in race 1 this weekend. He's now only 2 points behind the Kilkenny man in the 18 race championship. So Ryan's non-finished in the previous round has opened the door for that man, Luke Johnson. Down towards Lola corner they come. Really opens up. Looks like it's a straight run down into turn 7A and 7B, but it's actually a left kink as they head downhill towards that turn. Up ahead of them, McCormack and Ryan, they're the 1-2. There's Ryan going through shot into Bahrain's Bends. There's a good battle going on behind with O'Grady, Wilson and Kelly for that 5th place as they hit Bahrain's Bends. Wilson, having gone wide at Southside Motor Factors corner, now battling to get back to that place. End of lap 2. Wilson has a little look down the inside, but O'Grady backing up ahead of him, and he's lost it. Wilson takes 5th down from Southside Motor Factors corner. All the rest of the bikes going through. Great entry for the main Superbike class this season. Many upgrading from the Cup to the Pro class for 2019. All aiming for the dominant Richie Ryan. Well, there's a host of riders competing in the Cup class. All part of the Dunlop Masters Superbike Series. Well, Wilson has pulled away from O'Grady and Kelly in this, the battle for 6th place. O'Grady from Dublin managed to nick a place in the podium in the last race. 3rd after Ryan's non-finish. Currently 5th in the series on the standings. Real sweeping nature to these bends. Just about here you feel like you want to pull on the power, but you've just got to wait before you straighten things up. Oops. And Kelly outbrakes himself, and into the gravel trap he goes. And you can see what he's trying to do, trying to go around the outside. He might get a bit of purchase here if he can just keep it going around the edge of the Southside Motor Factor's gravel trap. Luke Johnston closing the gap now. McCormick's up the road. Has Ryan got an issue with his R1 Yamaha? We're on lap 5 of 8 now. Ryan looking for a little bit of opposition after his dominant opening round. 3 wins, non-finish in the last race for him. And Johnston is closing in hand over fist. Long sweeping left-hander this one, and Johnston is right at the back of the double champion now, and he might fancy his chances to take 2nd place. Yeah, I think Ryan yielded that spot. He knew fine well that Johnston was coming up behind him. Looks like he let him through all right. He's now down to an unfamiliar 3rd place. Well, Ryan's not letting Johnston get away, but he's clearly got problems, Richie Ryan. Maybe a legacy of his crash in the opening race this weekend. That's Peter Maloney. Maloney 4th place on the Suzuki. As they go to turn 3 and climb the hill down towards the Bridgestone S's. Well, no problems for McCormick, as you can see, nothing behind him. It's the battle for the Cup class for less experienced Superbike racers. 95 Jamie O'Keefe on the Kawasaki. Another of the pro riders there, Keelan Ryan, the 2018 Super Sport Cup champion. Leading the class, though, is the yellow Yamaha of Frank Doherty. Emmett O'Grady squeezed in between one of the pro riders. And Joe Grant in the Kawasaki is 2nd in the Cup class. We're coming down now to the last lap. McCormick's already gone through. Johnson keeping Ryan behind him. Back to the battle for the Cup class honours. Emmett O'Grady involved there, man from Kerry. He's been backed by Thomas Tossie Fitzsimons, the Swords resident, the driving force behind the TAG racing team, and a long-time supporter of Brian McCormick, who is way up the front. Like Doherty from Kerry, on the yellow machine, leading the Cup class on this, the last lap. But no problems up front for the returning Brian McCormick. Down off Southside Motor Factor's corner for the very last time. Pops the wheelie in celebration. It's his 2nd win this weekend. He has been totally dominant. Johnston comes home in 2nd place. Still a battle going on for 3rd as they come down from the top corner. And Ryan holds off Maloney. So Brian McCormick wins ahead of Luke Johnston and Richie Ryan. Maloney, Wilson and O'Grady. And it was Joe Grant home in 10th place. The leading Cup rider, Frank Doherty, in 2nd place, was placed 11th overall.
It's enjoyable out there. It's great to be up here. And as I said, the last round I was on the podium, I would be here only for the Highlands that sponsor me this year, and they're down there again with the bike, and fair play to them for that. And hopefully there's a lot more to come from it.
Last round I wasn't happy with the bike. Now I'm starting to get a little bit happier with it. But the race was brilliant there. I enjoyed it big time. I had better pace than what I was going, but I have severe arm pump there. It's wicked. So unfortunately Joe was able to pit me there.
Our 3rd win so far. In fairness, Frank had me bet only for he says racer's excuse, but he just got tired, that's all. But no, in fairness, he had me. He had the pace. I had no rear tyre. I was sliding everywhere. But luckily enough, I was able to catch him at the end, just make the pass, and then I just rode defensive. I think I nearly came down pit lane in the last corner there. I was covering my line so well, but great to get the win and extend the lead in the championship. So, and thanks lads for all the help. Fair play to you.
Yeah, I slowed. Look, I knew within the first couple of corners I wasn't going to be able to stay with Brian, so tried to get a couple of points on the board. But I really wasn't expecting Lou to come past me. I dropped off a lot there. Probably a little bit rattled after the crash yesterday. I suppose bike seems to be going okay, but we've got a new tyre now for the next race, so you never know. We might be able to do something.
I made life pretty hard for myself with this awful start, but just seems to be becoming a common problem with me with the starts. But I got away and managed to get through the traffic, and then I could see I was keep holding station with Richie, and then suddenly just his pace went. So I kind of thought, right, we have to go here now. So I mean, it's fairly obvious at this stage of the season that we're probably not going to beat him on pace alone. So we just got to capitalise on every mistake he makes, and just hopefully try and keep us in the hunt if we're going to try and win this championship. So just got to keep in there.
That was a bit harder than the 600. It was. I knew when I got a good start, and I ran around Richie in the first corner and kind of hung it out for the first few laps. They're all kind of 54 or 41s every lap. So, and then I saw the board kind of creeping up, so I was kind of happy then because the tyre was gone after 4 or 5 laps. So I try and keep that for the last race. But it looks great to be out in front again and not see anyone in front of you. But it's hard to concentrate with 3 or 4 laps to go and you see that much on your board. So I kind of slowed off too much maybe. But look, it was great. The on1 race in BMW was flying. So thanks to all the sponsors here. I see Christy Cavan and other sponsors here, loyal sponsors. So it's great to see them out. And Thomas Simon sitting down there as well, who was backing me all these years. So it was great. It was a good day, so hopefully we just bring it on.
So that concludes our action for round number 5 of the Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship. We'll be back after this short break with the action in round number 6. So welcome back to part 2 of the programme here for round 6 of the Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship. Just before the break, Brian McCormick was in stellar form on his on1 Racing BMW. Can he do it again? Can Richie Ryan challenge? Can Peter Maloney or Luke Johnson do anything about the big man from Tramore? To find out, we'll join race commentator John Kenny.
And this some of the highlights from the previous race. It's Luke Johnston moving up to second place. Battles all the way down the field. James Kelly out braking himself, ending up in the gravel trap, and a dominant victory for Brian McCormick. Let's go to the grid.
Mick, tell us a bit about this machine. It's a lot different than all the other bikes on the grid.
Well, it's a V-twin compared to the ZX10 I had last year. Was inline 4, but I mean it's down a lot on power, but I can make it up in the corners with it. It's nimble enough, Yeah, I had a problem with the bike there for the last couple of races that the traction control is messing up, but I got it sorted there now, so I look forward now to getting out and hopefully a good result, yeah.
It's just a matter of turning it off or tuning it out altogether, is it?
Well, I was running with it off because it was easier to ride it with it off the way it was working, but no, it was with a bent sensor, so I was just driving it crazy.
You've got a new Suzuki this year, back in the Superbike class.
Yeah, I was riding the 650s there for a good few years, so I'm looking out at the fence at these guys having so much fun, so I said I'd join them for a while and see what the crack was.
I haven't touched the bike all weekend, Jim. I haven't actually touched it since Easter weekend. She's perfect at the moment and I'm really enjoying riding it, so it's just a bit different jumping off the 600 onto it, so just take the sighting lap now to get my head back into it again and go for it from the go.
So new rules for 2019 sees the front 2 rows of the grid reversed for race 3. So 8-lap race on the international track here at Mondello Park. It's Maloney, Wilson, Tommaso Grady now on the front row of the grid, and Brian McCormick is on row 2, having run the opening 2 races this weekend. He's looking for the hat-trick. And away they go. Bright sunny afternoon here at Mondello Park. Maloney gets a good start from pole position and leads them down into turn 1. Wilson in second place, the veteran. Ryan right behind him as they head down now into turn 3, and Wilson loses out to Richie Ryan. Cormac involved there. Tries to go around Thomas O'Grady as they head down towards the Bridgestone S's. McCormick said he was concerned about this reverse grid. He's trying to go around the outside there. And actually he's lost out as well to Luke Johnson, who's trying to go around the outside as they go into Lola corner. That's a good manoeuvre from Luke Johnston. Bumps McCormick down. It's the battle for the lead now. Maloney, boy would he love to beat Ryan. Ryan certainly shook by his off in race 1 this weekend. For Maloney then, this may be the best chance he has. He's never beaten Ryan in the Superbike competition. Wilson still in 3rd place. Good run from the veteran. Back with the 2 leaders again. Maloney still leads. 11th, 2nd place finishes all behind Ryan last season. But an unfinish for Ryan. Cormac, back of Wilson now. And Johnston in the battle for 3rd. Cormac's having to come from a long way back, having won the opening 2 races this weekend. Now looking for that hat trick. Back with Maloney and Ryan as they head down in towards turn 3. Luke Johnson in 3rd place. Wilson still holding up McCormick in the background. He'll be anxious to get past and chase down the front 2. That's Johnston. McCormick still being held up by Wilson. And just ahead there, you can see it. Richie Ryan takes the lead into Lola corner. And Ryan will be annoyed that he lost the lead of the championship to Luke Johnson. Non-finish in the opening race this weekend. Picked up 3rd place in the last round. But he now leads Maloney, who's been dropped back into the clutches of Luke Johnston. And McCormick's finally disposed of Wilson. He's in 4th place now. And he can try and close in on the leading 3. Johnston in 3rd place. Leading the championship now after the opening 5 races of the 2019 season. But it's Ryan, the champion, the double champion, up towards Southside Motor Factors corner. There's the veteran Wilson. Oh, the red flags are out. They'll have to start all over again. All the hard work undone. Somebody's down. And the organisers have decided to red flag and stop the race. And they'll have to have a restart. So Stephen Tracy from Kilkenny, Kawasaki on its side. Thankfully he's okay, but we will have to have a restart. Bike's heading back to the grid for that restart then. So it's as we started, before we were red flagged, it's Maloney, Wilson, Thomas O'Grady on the front row of the grid. Brian McCormick is on the inside of row 2. And away they go. Good start from Maloney from pole position. Much better start from Brian McCormick. Got an inside line. Trying to nick 3rd. Wilson is in 2nd place as they head through that turn 2 left-hander. And Wilson's quite close now to Maloney. Into turn 3 they go. Luke Johnson nips through. Take 5th. 2 second places this weekend. The new championship leader, the man from Antrim, on the Unlimited Industries BMW. McCormick has a little look at Wilson as they head down towards Lola corner. Maloney leading the double champion Ryan, who is currently down in 4th place. McCormick muscles his way through into turn 7A. Much better start from McCormick. It looked like he was struggling just a little bit before the red flag came out. Concerned about these reverse grids, but now he's got the leader up ahead of him, Peter Maloney, well and truly in his sights. A sweeping left-hander and really wound on the power there on that BMW to take the lead. Maloney falling into 2nd place, into the clutches really of Ryan and Johnson in the battle for 2nd. Wilson, he's doing well, isn't he? The old man of the field. End of lap 1. James Kelly going through 6th on the Suzuki. It's the battle for 2nd place. Maloney, Johnston and Ryan. Ryan not having a great weekend. Meeting the sandwich between himself and Luke Johnson. Picked up points. Ryan for finishing third in the second race this weekend. Having not finished the opening race. McCormack really a shot up off the road, so it's the battle for second, third and fourth. Wilson now down into fifth place. Down to turn 7A and B they go. Johnson has a look around the outside. He won't get through there. Just climb this little hill into Bahrain's Bends. Ryan has a little look. Nothing coming of that. Struggling a little bit, perhaps, that off in the opening race. Perhaps affecting him this weekend. He did say he wanted to have a bit of competition this weekend, as clearly he's struggling. Richie Ryan let Johnson through easily enough. Wouldn't have done that in previous races. We're on to the last lap. This restarted race. Wilson goes through. That's James Kelly, sixth on the Suzuki. The riders powering through on this their last lap. It's the battle for second now. Waterford man, Maloney, just ahead of Luke Johnson. Ryan just dropping off the pace a little bit. Wants to get that bike home now. Pick up as many championship points as he possibly can. Luke Johnston is the new leader of the championship. A third place finisher or even a second place finish would give him a bundle of points. But this is the man they've been trying to beat all weekend and haven't succeeded in doing so. Brian McCormack on his way to the hat-trick. Maloney has got Johnson all over him into Bahrain's Bends for the very last time. Long sweeping left-hander and Johnson nips through to take second place. Well, he waited for his moment and a good place to do it on the very last lap into paddock for the last time. Up to Southside Motor Factors corner and Luke Johnson will take second place. Up ahead it is Brian McCormack who takes the hat-trick. Pops the wheelie once again in celebration. Johnson in second, Maloney third, Ryan in fourth place ahead of Derek Wilson. So, terrific weekend for the Tramore man, Brian McCormack, winning a hat-trick of victories in the Superbike race. Luke Johnston now leads the championship, second home, out of Peter Maloney, Richie Ryan and Derek Wilson making up the top five. In the Cup class, it was the winner there, Frank Doherty, down in 12th place, just ahead of Joe Grant, who took second in the Cup Class Series.
That a bit of a surprise, was it?
It was, it's a tough old course, like, first time I was here, so I'm well pleased. Glad to be here, it's a good day.
A good race, but I would have liked to have got away with Frank to see if I could have stayed with him, but wasn't to be. 2 good wins for him this weekend, 3 podiums for myself, so we'll take it, it's a good weekend.
I had to work hard. Dara passed me there, Dara Trapp, and I had to give it everything I had to pass him, to take the win. But it's hard when you start. I started fairly high up the grid there, and everybody's behind you. You have to kind of ride defensively for the whole race. It's not easy,
I suppose happy to come home with a trophy, or I'd be made sell the bike, So I know we still a lot to do with the bike. We're a million miles away from where we were on the old Beamer. So look, I don't know. Maybe a sledgehammer and a chisel might help, but
I can't complain, definitely. I mean, when I saw the times in qualifying and stuff and saw what Richie and Brian were doing, they took 2 or 3 seconds, definitely. So that's the most fun I've had in the Superbike, I think, around there. Just 4 laps, absolute madness. So again, made life hard for myself, but no, it came through in the end. So very happy.
Yeah, the first start, I kind of got bullied around a bit because I'm still trying to mind myself as well, but I kind of felt happy enough sitting behind the front 3 and I said, right, I'll try and pick them off now, my good spots around the track. But then the red flag came out and I got a better start that time, and a couple of close moves maybe on Derek and Peter, but I knew I wanted to get out in front and kind of pull a little bit of a gap if I could, because I had no tyre left. So just worked out brilliantly. The lads worked brilliant, like Brandon, Jamie and Danny and Carol and Jim and everybody. They all chipped in and did a great job this weekend, and sure, can't thank everyone enough.
So that's it, and that will conclude our action for rounds number 5 and 6 of the Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship. And what a weekend indeed it was. The big man from Tramore in County Waterford, Brian McCormack, was in a stellar performance on his On1 Racing BMW. Luke Johnston on his BMW put in a fantastic run too, multiple second positions for him. Unfortunately, championship leader Richie Ryan had a bit of a mishap on day one, going down on that R1 Yamaha, but managed to recover with a podium position on Sunday. Remember folks, we'll be back in action here in a couple of weeks' time with rounds number 8 and 9 of the Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship.